We touched on Karius a little bit earlier. My thing on Karius, I've seen a lot of people in comments, and this is what the internet exists for. There's always got to be one guy who you're like, he's got to come out at any given point. There's got to be that player in the team that you've got to bomb out for whatever reason. It's weird though that for me, I've seen Karius play 2 games. He's had very little to do in most of them. He did not dominate his box against Swansea. That is a given. Didn't dominate it. Should have dominated it more than he did, because on another day, we'd have conceded goals from those situations. But I've watched Mignolet for 3 seasons, 4 seasons, whatever it is, he's been at the club now, more than 2 fucking games. Exactly. I know what Mignolet's limitations are because I've watched him consistently at this time. I don't know that.
You're not fazed by the last few games where he was playing well.
But here's the thing, I don't even think that, even though he's been fine, Mignolet's been fine this season, he's not been great, he's been fine. He has not been, what I'll say is that Karius' performance, which a lot of people seem quite concerned about for some reason, like concerned, worried, scared,
We've seen the other keepers in Europe, fucking all throughout Europe.
Mignolet's good performances are not so much better than what I've seen of Karius to make me think, right, Karius comes out for the next game. It's as simple as that. Anyone, take my point, run with it.
Well, to be honest, I mean, there's been a couple of shaky moments. Like, I'm not going to say he's Mignolet Mark 2, because I think he's so much better at playing the ball out. He seems to have better distribution. He may be a bit younger, but you can learn from Mignolet's mistakes. I hope. But yeah, I'm put it this way, I'm not as worried now when the ball comes into the box as I was this time last season. So I think that's a positive step forward. And if he does make a mistake, I honestly don't think it'd be the best thing to just bring Mignolet straight back in and sort of say, oh, you've made a mistake, you're out.
Well, but equally, actually, we're in a kind of comfortable position where, look, Mignolet probably on form deserves another couple, probably could have kept him for another couple of games. It'll be interesting to see how the manager handles it, because I kind of, give him another game. Man United, a big game coming up. We hope he could be developing a culture where he just says, well, we'll take it up the firing line. Neither goalkeeper, Mignolet because he's just not good enough, and Karius because he's young, have got the ability to be world class for 40 games in a season. So what we'll do is, whenever the heat starts to build on one, we'll just fucking take them out. We'll swap the pans to different hobs and keep them ticking over.
I think with Karius, I think he's seen what happens to that has happened to Mignolet and other goalkeepers in the Premier League, and the amount of abuse they get whenever they make a mistake. I think he's so afraid of making a mistake that maybe he's not playing his natural game. Like, he's meant to be good for coming for crosses. Haven't really seen that yet. Nope. But, hopefully, David De Gea, he was crap coming for crosses when he first came.
He was getting crucified.
Yeah, he was getting crucified, but, they stuck with him, and now look at him.
Yeah. The Karius stuff that I think is most important is, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Josh, but I think his distribution, whether his distribution was great, I didn't panic watching him trying to distribute the ball. You know what, Mignolet just dithers, and it never looks natural. Whoa. He looks like a guy who doesn't want to do it, but he's doing it because it's part of his job. And Karius, even though he miskicked 1 or 2, by and large, is just his general demeanour. I think I said it in post-match. The one that's right at him, and he spills, and he just goes and just carries on. With his Mignolet, when Chris said Mignolet probably just catch it, and he might have done. But if he'd spilled it, I wouldn't put it past Mignolet to be like, you know what I mean, a bit a clown juggler.
Yeah, you're almost expecting sometimes, like with Mignolet, until he's actually just got it in his hands, and then you see him walk, and you're like, okay, he's actually holding it. You're not fully settled. But I think with the curse of having a decent goalkeeper, if it feels like we're Brazil. Just never had proper decent keeper for years, and all I ever hear about is Grabler and Clemens, and they were quality and all that shit. And then I grew up with David James, you know what I mean? Just punching his own players in the face and stuff, and never doing anything. And it's like, mate, we've had a football team for the last 20 years that never had a goalkeeper until Reina was the only one, and then he didn't even fucking last that long. That was done very quickly. Yeah. But now, we need to, Ter Stegen or Karius at the start of the season, who would you have gone for?
You'd have gone for Ter Stegen.
Everyone would have, exactly. Mate, yesterday, he fucking just kicked the ball into a Celta Vigo player's head 2 yards away from him and went straight in his own net. it was the shittest goalkeeping kick I've ever seen in my life. Highly rated goalkeeper. At the end of the day, goalkeepers will make mistakes when it comes to using their feet. Karius did it in his first pre-season game, didn't he? When it rolled under his leg.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's really about. I don't like...
It's not about being a goalkeeper. It's not about the mistakes you make, because every goalkeeper makes mistakes.
Exactly.
It's about how you bounce back and not let those mistakes affect you. That was what was great about Pepe Reina. Because, and you're right, because I remember going from I had the tail end of Bruce Grobbelaar when he was shit. You know, and I had all the Cup Final videos when he was amazing, like exactly. You know, and David James was a massive liability. It was fucking horrendous. And, you know, Brad Friedel never clicked for us. Westerveld had a good season, but exactly. You know, Westerveld never Dudek always had that in him. Pepe Reina was like a shining light. It was like an oasis in a desert landscape.
Even he had that fucking Arsenal moment first game. You're like, oh,
exactly. He has dodgy moments, and it is. But the thing that stands you out as a good goalkeeper, and I think Karius has got that from the little I've seen. That's what it feels different to him, is that he kind of goes, shit happens, I'll get on with it. Yeah. He doesn't go, and there's too much of this in Liverpool's team. He doesn't go, oh my God, like letting the world see how angry he is with himself, to let everyone know I'm pissed off because I know that's not acceptable. He's like, of course not, you know, I know what my fucking job is. My job's to catch the ball and keep it up the fucking goal. He'll just get on.
Getting angry doesn't really help, does it? Because everyone else like, well, yeah, of course you're angry. We're fucking angry now as well.
If he knows he's made a mistake, the only thing you can do is move on and make a better save next time, and just move on. You know, everyone makes mistakes.
Confidence-wise, I think the Mignolet playing so well maybe didn't help him, because he got brought in, and I think all of a sudden, as soon as he came into that game, nobody put him in the starting lineup. And everyone's like, all right, so now I've kind of got to be a lot better than Mignolet, and it just so happens he's played well for the first time in his career. So right, okay, I've got to put in a good performance.
No, you're right. Mignolet set a good level, and here's the thing for me, I can say, is that right now, even though Mignolet was good and Karius had that shaky game, I don't see him he's not so much worse or better. Neither one is so much the shining candidate of like, my God, there's our number one goalkeeper. None of them have been so good that I'm like, well, that's that position sewn up. We've sat here for 10 minutes and waxed lyrical about James fucking Milner nailing down the left back position.
Exactly.
James Milner nailed on to the point where we won't entertain anyone else playing that position. And I would say that one way, whether it's Karius or Mignolet, kind of doesn't matter. The point is that Mignolet's been their experience. We know what his faults are. Karius is young. He comes with a lot of potential. He's confident as fuck. He's gorgeous. Let's kind of
best of both worlds.
Yeah, there we go.
Start
commanding your box. That's all I'll say.